Hello there. I wanted to, before the video starts, to deeply apologize before the different quality of audio you're gonna hear. Is because I am in a closet right now and I cannot exactly choose how my mic decides to pick up what I'm saying. So I'm really sorry about that. So some audio may be a little bit echoey, some audio may be good. And I also want to apologize for my really weird accent is because English is not my first language. So, with that out of the way, thank you very much for watching and enjoy the video. So, I have never in my life DM before, but I recently decided to, hey, I am bored, so I'm just gonna make a campaign. I got a friend of mine to join me as my player, but I decided not to use the normal D&D format. I decided to use a system called Dungeon World, which makes it a lot easier in combat. So in Dungeon World, the system that you use is a D6 instead of a D20. 1 and 2 are critical fails, 3 and 4 are successful complications, and 5 and 6 are critical success, which makes the combat a lot faster, and you don't have to do as much math as the normal D&D. The campaign starts when my player, a few towns over where he originated from. In this town, there seems to be something going on. Some wolves have recently appeared, but they are not your normal wolves. They are a demi-wolf, as I call them. A wolf mixed with something else, a different species. So it can be like, I don't know, a swordfish and a wolf, that kind of thing. So, in this town, some kids got murdered by the wolf, and my player is a good ally, so he wanted revenge for the kids. He meets up with the mayor to give him the quest. The mayor gives my player the quest, so he goes to the inn for the night before he starts the quest to rest, and in there he meets a engineer goblin called Gus, a dragonborn warrior called Tarek, and a half-elf bard called Natalie. They talk, blah blah. They want the same thing. They want to slay the wolf, so they party. In the morning, they wake up and they go. But I told my player that the wolves are being controlled by some kind of magic, and so if he can try not to kill the wolves, try to knock them out to see if that will turn them back to normal. He goes into the forest where the wolves have been spotted, and he encounters 3 wolves who try to ambush him. One is a bird wolf, the other one is a sheep wolf, and the third one is a snake wolf. So they start looking out, and the goblin has a special weapon, which if he takes a round off, he can modify the weapon to his liking. So what he does, he makes his weapon into basically a magnum pistol, and starts shooting at the wolf with tranq dart to try to knock them out. So they fight, and that happens, and they manage to knock the sheep wolf and the snake wolf out. The bird wolf rolls to escape, and he succeeds, and so he escapes to go alert the rest of the pack. So they start running out of there with the sheep wolf and the snake wolf, and after a while, the sheep wolf and the snake wolf wake up. The first thing that player decides is, hey, I'm going to give the snake wolf some pats on the head to see if that works. As it turns out, it did work, and the snake wolf became really affectionate with my player. So there's a system that I put in place for such things, which you can make any animal or monster you're familiar as long as they like you, and the only thing you have to do is make a ritual to bind the companion you want to you. So I tell this to my player about the system. I tell him that the mayor knows how to do it. So he goes to the mayor and wants to do the ritual, and the mayor says, okay, come back at night so I can have everything prepared. The player does so. The player goes into the mayor's office at night, and there the mayor stands in a magical circle with 2 other people. They do this ritual in which the player has to eat a piece of bread and drink a bit of water and then give it to the snake wolf. And then they have to recite some bullshit I just made up. And from there on, the player now has a snake wolf companion familiar. And once the ritual is done, the snake wolf disappears. The player does not know where it went. So the mayor basically tells them that once you make a pact with a familiar, it kind of creates its own pocket dimension where the familiar lives. And you can summon it whenever you decide. But each familiar has a different way of summoning. Would it be a phrase you have to say, a certain thing you have to do, a small ritual you have to make. So the mayor shows him how to do it because, as it turns out, she also has a familiar. Her familiar is a 10-foot tall bear. Something that I forgot to mention is the mayor is a 9-foot tall Goliath woman druid that used to be an adventurer before she became the mayor. So the mayor shows my player how she summoned her familiar, and then my player tries it and it works. So afterwards, my player decides, hey, I like this bear, I'm gonna try to pet it. As it turns out, that may have been a bad idea. This bear, as huge and ferocious as it looks, is actually a really cuddly bear. So my player tries to pet it. As my player pets it, the bear lets him pet him. The bear decides, hey, I'm gonna turn myself on top of this person, which could have potentially crushed my player. Luckily, the mayor intervened and had to lift the bear off my player. If not, my player would have died. So that was basically the first session. Then afterwards, my player decides to go into the inn to sleep for the night. So my player sleeps, and in the morning, there's the snake wolf, which he nicknamed Steve, is suddenly looking at a really dark corner of the room that they're staying in. As it turns out, the snake wolf was right. There was something in there. That something was a guy, a human guy, which I just nicknamed Servant. I didn't have anything else, who comes out of the shadows. My player's first reaction is to grab the weapon, which he has a staff. My player is a cleric, so he has a staff, which he uses to pummel people if they get too close. So my player's first reaction is to grab his staff and basically point it at the servant, trying to like intimidate him. And the servant's first reaction is to be like, hey, I'm not here to harm you, I'm just here to help you. So my player says, what do you want from us? And the servant explains that Steve is actually his master's creation. His master is a really powerful alchemist and necromancer who over time got really depressed, but he's really powerful. But the thing is, he does not want to kill himself. He wants somebody to kill him as like a final way of going out. And so his master has created a bunch of abominations like the snake wolf, demi-wolves, and a bunch of other things which could be considered immoral or like abominations in itself for monsters to make adventurers stronger so they will get to the point when they can kill them. And so that's when our player realizes, oh shit, he's the reason why the kids have died, and he's the reason why this town is suffering quite a bit. So the servant has tell my player that his master has sent him a gift. My player at first is hesitant because he doesn't trust this guy, and then the guy tries to convince my player that it's not anything harmful. My player reluctantly agrees, and the gift that the guy gives is for now Steve to be able to grow and shrink in size so he can be as small as a mouse or as big as a horse, which could be really useful in certain scenarios. So after that, the guy leaves, and my player reunites with his party to go after the demi-wolf, and that will be around the end of session 1.